Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport. I did mute my camera this evening so that you didn't have to put up with me singing along to the tune. But you never know, it might be arranged that you can hear it next time. You just have to watch and see, won't you? Well, welcome everyone to Chateau Del Nick, and welcome everyone to another Thursday evening at Littleport Christian Spiritualists, first church of the new Christian Spiritualist Society, so named because we were the first one to open. And there are many points for the new Christian Spiritualist Society all over this good green isle, all over the world, in fact. And we've got a number of people watching from all over the world. So hello Darren from Canada, and hello Jan, and hello Trace, and hello Susan, and hello Edwina. We've got the Welsh look in there. And hello to you all. You are all most very welcome, up and down, east and west, and all over the world. And of course, for all those that are joining us at another point in time that isn't live, you're also welcome. And I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful evening / morning / afternoon. Whatever point of time it is that you are watching, you are most welcome. So hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us. Now, tonight is going to be our usual uplifting evening of mediumship, philosophy, and thought-provoking chat, especially when it comes from Reverend Lynn, who's waiting in the wings, ready to join us. And of course, we will have a reading from Reverend Alan, also known as Victor Meldrew. And of course, we have got 4 special people sitting in one screen tonight, because I can see them. We've got Samantha, we've got Hannah, we've got Bully, and we've also got Henry waiting as well, who's staring at the screen right now because I think he's heard his name. But there we go. Welcome to you all wherever you are. And of course, we've got some people waiting to get messages, so we better crack on with our service so that we can get them sorted out as well. So friends, at this point, I normally have a bit of a chat or a bit of a rave or a bit of a rant about something. And tonight, I think it's probably a combination of all, if not none. Because one of the things that I've noticed over the last few weeks, you couldn't help but notice it for weeks and months, actually, but it's become more prevalent and certainly more focused right now. Is all about these words that we hear all the time about fact checking and fakery and all sorts of various different styles at which you can attain it. And what has that got to do with spiritualism? Well, frankly, spiritualism is a religion, a philosophy, and a way of life that helps people live their lives in a better way. That's what we are here for. That's what we do when we become a minister. We minister to people. So advice on life. And the point is that the advice on life that I share with you tonight harkens on to these things about facts and fact checking. You see, my friends, when it comes to spiritualism, when we give a message, we have a source where that information comes from. We go back to that source and check that information, and we then verify that information through giving evidence of survival, and the responses you get from your recipient is your fact checking. This is the rule we should apply on everything in life. Now, when it comes to all sorts of tall tales and lies and fibs and theories, they can be very interesting, sometimes a bit uplifting, but they can also be outright damaging and destructive. And we will always do our best to avoid and quell such things, because that's the right thing to do. But when it comes to all of these various different tall tales, shall we say, use the principles of mediumship. There are 7 principles of mediumship written on the NCSS website. which you can find very easily in many of the links that we've shared over the years. But there are principles of mediumship that our Reverend Lynn wrote, as well as principles of spiritualism. But the key thing is always about checking your facts, going back and verifying your information. These rules you can apply to tall tales, news articles, and conspiracy theories. And I also wonder if she had the news in mind when she wrote them, because of course she is not an unknown and very renowned journalist in her own right as well. And of course, the point is, when I was first learning about mediumship from her, she used to tell me, you know, journalism is about just giving the information and nothing more, not giving your opinions or thoughts or feelings on it. You just give the facts and nothing else. And of course, we do the same with mediumship. This is what we hear all the time. I'll just give what I've got. I'll just give what I've got. And it's the same principle. So when you go to verify your information, there's two options. You can go and find various different websites all over the world, but where are those words? Where did they come from? Where is the facts that can be verified? These are the questions we must always ask ourselves. So when someone tells you a tall tale, check the facts from a very reliable source. What she also said is that journalism is not opinions, theories, and thoughts. That is the rhetoric of a columnist and an editorial. It is not news. So if you see an opinions and a thought or a theory portrayed as actual facts, check your facts. Go and find the information and protect yourself from trickery, fakery, and fibbery. And I tell you this much. Tonight you are protected from fakery, trickery, and false fake news, because tonight you will get information from spirit, through spirit, to your spirit, and it will be you that can verify those facts. So let's get that ball rolling, shall we, with someone who can bring forward those pieces of information. And his name is Tony Swindells. Hello, dear. How are you?
Hello, dear. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm marvellous. Good to see you. Welcome to Littleport.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Well, no, it's always a pleasure and never a chore.
There we are. Thank you.
So you've been exceptionally busy yourself, haven't you, dear?
I have, yes. 3 services a week for goodness knows how long.
You certainly are a busy bunny. I couldn't do it, that's for sure.
Well, people need it.
They do indeed.
And what's lovely is I could go on screen 5 nights a week and they would still watch, because there's such a need out there at the minute, Nick.
Absolutely.
And it's heartbreaking, it really is, that so many churches are closed and can't open because of social distancing, so they can't viably do it.
Who knows, maybe there is that light at the end of the tunnel we've been promising.
Yes, fingers crossed.
And I'm just reading the comments, and I do have to say I love the pink too.
The pink? Oh, yes. Just printed it.
Had you forgotten, dear?
I have, yes. It's a bit pinker than I thought it was going to be, but there we are.
There's nothing wrong with that. That just about describes me when my family found out about me, but that's another story. Moving on, let us welcome to the platform our principal minister, and I can say our principal minister, Mr. Trading Minister yourself, and let's welcome our principal minister of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, Reverend Lynn Gibb de Swart.
Well, good evening to you, and God bless you, of course, and everything that you do. And that, of course, goes for everybody watching. I'd quickly like to say to Karen Louise Rhodes Cleal that she really ought to stay with us. And even though we are, we give these on-screen reading, prearranged, people to come forward and be on screen, there is plenty in one of our services that can help just by listening to various things that are being said. You'd be surprised how much you can actually receive just from being a part of a spiritual service like this one. So I did have to mention that. And also to Rachel Harwood as well, who's going through a difficult time and would like some help for a friend. And I do feel that if you listen in and take in what is said on any spiritualist service, really, where you've got a speaker and mediums and readings, you'll find something in that you can actually take away and use in terms of helpfulness, being helpful either for yourself or for a friend that you can pass on to them some knowledge. So having said that, what was I doing today? I usually get asked what I'm doing, and of course Reverend Nick hasn't asked me, so that's all right. I don't mind if he's not interested.
I would have assumed that you would have told us.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you anyway. And the thing is, I had a very, very full day. I had an hour's special conference with the Federation of International Bandy, Reverend Nick, with the General Secretary and the Vice President, talking about how best to move forward with that, which is my special interest sport. And then I had somebody, the Vice Chairman of the Littleport Society came round for a good talk about the old clock that we've got back in Littleport. Since it disappeared from us, so over 100 years ago, it's now back. And all sorts of stuff like that. And then this afternoon, after a few other things, I was called by a journalist. You mentioned journalists. A journalist who is also used to be a colleague and a friend, but I haven't seen for a long time. She got in touch with me because she wanted to do a radio interview with me on what? What do you think she wants to do the interview about? God in the internet age. And Reverend Nick, oh Karen, that's lovely. Bless you. Mark my words. Yes, so we were talking previously to actually starting the service about God. Well, Reverend Nick was talking about God, and I was just sitting there thinking, oh yes, I've heard about all this. And also, of course, we had to mute me because there was sort of squeaking on the, some sort of feedback on the microphone and so on. And in fact, what happened was that we couldn't actually record anything this afternoon about that radio interview because she could hear me, but I couldn't hear her. So the Skype was no good, and neither was the WhatsApp. So we're going to do the whole thing tomorrow, please God, at 4 o'clock, when hopefully we'll get some support and be able to do it. So, technical problems have been besetting me as well. So I thought perhaps we would, I should say that if you're interested, this interview will be on Resonance FM on the 9th of December. And the person who's presenting this program is called Janet Wyatt. And you might like to have a look. They have a website, which is www.resonancefm.com. And it's very interesting. It has all sorts of very different musics, art, opinions, philosophies, free speech, all sorts of interesting things in this program. Well, so much so that they have they often have musicians and artists and people who are doing degrees and so on at various universities and colleges, putting programs together and so on. So anyway, that's just what I've been doing. As for God in the internet age, that is thought provoking, isn't it? And I thought to myself, God is the same as ever. Even if you look in the Bible, it said God, he said, I am. And the point is that God was in the beginning, is now, and will be ever. And, you know, we say, don't we, in our prayers, you know, the kingdom of God is forever and ever. And what I thought was that now we are in this internet age, we're talking to a congregation, to an audience, to people worldwide who are very aware, like human beings have never been aware before, that you can actually receive information across the ether. You can actually, you know, we are sitting here, people are tuning in, logging on, call it what you will, and they're actually seeing us and hearing us, and we are not actually there, but we are. And I thought that this was really a real age of enlightenment when it comes to communication, because that is what spiritualism is founded upon. Not just communication in the earthly sense, as we are doing now, but also communication in the spirit sense. In the fact is that we get communication from people that other people can't see and can't hear. And you know, and now, because of this new technology, people are accepting of that far more and far more understanding of that principle than they could ever have been, say, 150 years ago. You know, you know that this sort of, you know, that there was you know, women fainted, apparently, nothing much to do with their corsets, I don't think, but they fainted when they saw moving pictures flickering across the screen, because it was so shocking to them that they could see people who weren't there. But you know, so really we're in a very, very good situation as far as our way of life is concerned, our spiritualism and our principles of spiritualism. When we talk about, you know, continuous existence, we can say to people, well, yes, because we can prove it, because we get messages from that other world, and you can see that any day of the week, any time you like, by actually turning on a device, and you can see people who you wouldn't otherwise be able to see, and hear people that you wouldn't otherwise be able to hear, just by turning on. And you can have that in your sitting room, in your bedroom, it doesn't matter where you are. And while we are on the subject of bedrooms, I happen to know, psychically I'm picking it up, that Reverend Penny Sutton is in bed watching this. So I would like to say to you, Penny, that I would not tell anybody, not anybody. It was in strictest confidence that you told me that you were going to be watching from bed, because you had to get up so early tomorrow morning. So I wouldn't dream of you know, telling anybody about that. But I wanted to just to mention to you that I was thinking about you. So there we are. So yeah, so I just think that we should be really happy to be in this new age where people understand so well that you can have messages and see people that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see, and that a medium is somebody who channels that through. So, you know, like I've said before, it doesn't really matter whether you get a message personally or not. If you can be in a congregation, if you can be in an audience where a medium is working, a spiritualist medium is working, and where they are actually getting communication from a loved one, relative, a friend, chap down the road who wants to be remembered, an identifiable person who has actually passed over to the world of spirit, who isn't down here anymore, like that sick parrot, you know, in the Monty Python sketch, you know, definitely not sleeping, and definitely dead. And, you know, you can see that those people who have passed over from this life are still there, and they're giving those wonderful messages of encouragement as well to their loved ones here. So if you're watching that, the main thing is to know that that is the truth, that, you know, as Doris Stokes used to say, "You can't die for the life of you." And Maurice Barbanel, the person who was the founder and founding editor of Psychic News, and whose desk I sat at for about 7 years, he used to go to Hyde Park and stand on a soapbox, and he used to harangue the crowd, and he used to be telling people about our way of life and telling all these people that there is no death. He had this big placard that used to say, "There is no death." And people used to throng. And the thing is that this was in the early days, the 30s and the 40s, and people weren't used to the idea necessarily that you could actually see people who weren't there or hear people who weren't there. But the fact is that now people are so aware that surely they must accept that we have mediums who can relay images and messages and words from those that we love, who are on the other side of life, and who are able to come close and give those messages through. And that's why I said to those lovely people by name this evening to please stay. Don't think that because we have 3 people recipients lined up to receive messages for themselves. Don't just think, well, that's that, because while you're part of this congregation, while you're part of all of this, you yourself will receive some kind of communication, some kind of message for yourself. Believe me, there'll be something that's said, something that you'll hear that will trigger something you'll see, something that will trigger something in you, and you'll know that you're going to get that help too. So I think that's probably enough from me. I don't know how long I've been speaking, probably too long. Who said that? But I would like to mention Reverend Nick mentioned about the website, and of course the New Christian Spiritualist Society has the .com, has the website. And if you'd like to read some more about spiritualism in general and various things that I've written about, I have a website which is www.lyngestiswalk.com, and you're welcome to have a trawl through all the articles and features that are on there. I've written about all sorts of stuff, and there are other people as well who've written things that I've included, and there are some videos on it as well. And of course I do have a video channel, speaking about technology, where people can watch various talks that I've given over the years, actually. And there we are. So I hope that you have a wonderful evening. And to all of those who will be tuning in, logging on, after we've actually, retired to our beds, all of us, although of course one of our number is already there, so she doesn't have to retire to it. She's already retired to it. But when we're all done here, you will still be listening to us from wherever you are, and I know that whoever you are and wherever you are, you will find some upliftment and some love in our messages to you, and some comfort, and to know that those you love who have gone over to the other side are still able to send that love back to you. And if they can, they will send you a sign, and you will know that they are close to you. And of course, the best thing is to be able to have a message from a medium. And even if one is a medium oneself, it's always nice to get a message independently given to you from another medium. And so I'll say, I just had a thought, it's a very nice thing that we are all able to broadcast these services. I always say to people, look for the blessing in the curse. And while I know we're going to pray soon for healing and comfort for all those who are suffering, particularly with the virus that's prevalent at the moment, I think that our services, being able to broadcast them as we have caused an upsurge in interest and understanding of those very principles that Reverend Nick talked about, the principles of spiritualism themselves. And, I recommend them highly to everybody. And of course, and the book also with my 7 principles of mediumship in, which I will not recite now, is called The Spiritualist Handbook. And for the publication of that, I thank Reverend Nick, because he put it all together for me. And you can get it on Amazon. It's quite cheap, I think. So I'll say God bless you. And thank you for your attention. The threat about anybody falling asleep receives full body healing. That only worked in a hall or in a church. It doesn't work anymore. We're here in virtual reality, as it were. So it's really crazy, isn't it? If you think about it, here we are in a virtual reality talking to you, and as mediums, we're going to talk to another load of people who are somewhere else in another room, shall we say. As Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. What he meant really was there are loads of rooms over there. And, we talk to them, and they're over there as well. So it's just that, only the clairvoyant among you will be able to see who we're talking to. But, rest assured, we're in for a very good evening, because we have a lovely medium. And he's got a tastefully blended pink hairdo. Where's he? Look, he's looking round. Tasteful little pink highlights. And once he starts waving his arms and hands around, you'll see he has very twinkly nails as well. Oh, I say, look at that, blended with the shirt. Oh, that is just too camp, man. That is too camp. Now, that's going to descend now. We're going to descend. So, I'll take myself off, and I will not allow myself to sink into the level of talking about people as if they're on a fashionable runway or something, but I do think that he does look very nice, doesn't he?
Thank you.
There.
Thank you, Lynn.
He does look lovely.
Thank you, Lynn.
Lovely. I'd be glad to see the collar, dear.
So
one more
that's a
module left
piece-
to
one
go,
more
dear.
module
left to go, dear.
Half a
many?
module.
Halfway.
Oh,
Getting there.
half a module.
Getting there.
Half a module.
And I would just
Half
like
a
to
mo.
I would just like
echo,
to echo,
not as literally as I
not as
usually do on
literally as I
Lynn's
usually do
microphone,
on
but
Lynn's
everyone
microphone,
else,
but everyone else,
darling, there's no such
darling,
thing as
there's
too
no
camp.
such thing as too camp.
Lynn,
Oh,
as
dear.
ever, I'm
As
just going to
ever,
briefly
I'm
mute
just
you.
gonna briefly mute you.
No, say to people that because as the New Christian Spiritualist Society, we are inclusive.
Absolutely.
We love everybody,
Absolutely.
whoever and whatever, and we embrace all sexualities.
Absolutely,
all
and in
genders.
fact, at some
Absolutely, and in
point
fact,
soon,
you
there'll
know,
be someone
everybody.
straight
There'll
on
be
the
someone
screen with us.
straight on the screen with us.
Did you say straight? Just a moment, my dear. I'm going to have to fan myself now. It's all too much. Oh no! My partner's watching.
I have got a couple of announcements before you go. So I am just going to briefly mute you because I keep pausing to hear myself and stop hearing myself. So, Darren, just to let you know that I will share a link to Lynn's website, Reverend Lynn Gibdeswar, if you feel the need to Google beforehand. But I will share a link to Lynn's website, our website at the New Christian Spiritualist Society. I'll even share a link to Reverend Lynn's book. And also, I'll share a link to the handbook as well, to the hymn book. I do apologise as well, compiled for the society. Let's just get it out there, in more ways than one tonight. But yes, I will share everything so that you can have a look, and you're all very welcome. I'm loving all the comments, and everyone's having that upliftment as we speak. So, Lynn, as ever, thank you so much for bringing your wisdom, your upliftment, your thought-provoking philosophy, and also helping me to descend things into the pits of depravity. Oh, what is that?
That's amazing. I want one of them.
My new pen. It's a pen.
Oh,
Wow.
thank goodness.
A Christmas pen.
Wow.
I make my notes with it.
Wow, I like that.
Wow, I like that.
I do.
I do.
I'm going to have to find out where you got it from later.
Find out where you got it from later.
We'll have a matching set, love.
We'll have a matching set, love.
And on that note, we'll see you later on, my darling.
We'll see you later on, my darling.
God bless you.
God bless.
God bless.
Well, Tony, it is time, and we're actually still running on time.
Wow.
Believe it or not, she always worries that she overruns, but she doesn't, because I just allow about 3 days for her to do her philosophy. And I've just had a frown from that, I would imagine. But no, I digress, and I jest, of course. So, friends, now is the time to hear some more philosophical debate and intake in the form of a reading. And he's back. He's looking very snazzy, and I also think he's looking very digitally clear since I upgraded our service to 720. Let's have him up here on the screen. Reverend Alan Sutton, are you there?
I am Nick. Good evening, all. Hope
Good
everybody
evening.
is well.
Good evening.
Lovely words again, Lynn.
Absolutely, as always.
I chose tonight's reading, especially with like where we have been for the last sort of 8-9 months of not such good times as such. But this goes out to every single person, both that I know, that I'm friends with, and those that I do not know. And it is called My Prayer for You. The author is unknown. I thought of you so much today, I went to God in prayer to ask over you and show you that I care. My prayer for you was not for rewards, ones that you can touch or feel, but true rewards for happiness that are so very real, like love and understanding in all the things you do, for guidance when you need those, to see your troubles through. I ask him so your future could be bright, and faith to accept life's challenges with courage to do what's right. I gave thanks to him for granting my prayer to bring you peace and love. May you feel the warmth in your life with God's blessings from above. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Wonderful. And Rachel, you asked if there was something coming for some answers for a friend. What you probably have seen in the past, if you've seen it before, if you haven't, for all of you that haven't, Alan always posts the poem, the reading that he reads on the page afterwards. And you post it on the church page, don't you, Alan?
Yes, I do.
Littleport Christian.
It may be tomorrow morning, but you know, because I don't
it's
think
still
I've
after the service, love.
I don't think I've got this one actually saved in my file, so I'll have to sort of send it over to myself and then post it. So
it doesn't matter whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 10 years. It's still after the service, so I wasn't lying. And it always transcends. And the reason I make that point is, Rachel, I think that reading would be something that you could perhaps pass on. That's what I'm being guided to tell you anyway. So hopefully that may be of some assistance. And then, of course, you can get in touch with us and get put on the list as well. So Alan, as always, love for the reading coming through on the comments, love from me as well, because it absolutely was not only what I think everybody needed to hear, personally this week, as something that I needed to hear too.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that, and God bless you, mate, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
And of course, stick around for the finale.
Will do.
But if you are summoned to pour someone a cup of tea, then do as you're told. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. Isn't that right?
All right.
God bless you, mate,
Okay.
and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. God bless.
And so, Tony, it is time to send out our healing thoughts to everyone. And of course, you and I, we've got in the past, we've had this little thing going on about the healing, because I served a church down in Weymouth, the Light Spiritualist Church in Weymouth, which Lynn actually served on Sunday. I think it was Sunday last as well.
It was.
And I stole something from them, a lovely healing video that it was their idea, and I always give full credit. A lovely healing video that they use to send out their healing thoughts as their moment of contemplation. And I stole it, and then I think I stole it for you as well, didn't I? I
Yes.
sent you a video, and of course I did another video for Advent for up north, up where you are, up in well, you're not actually physically in Bridlington.
No.
I did an Advent video for them as well. So all this technical stuff that's going on is quite peculiar, and I loves it. I really do. I loves it. And if it complements and helps our focus, then even better, because there's quite a few focuses tonight. Paul, who joins us oftentimes, most recently, he recently lost his poor pudditat, so we should send healing out to him. We also need to send out healing to young Callum, and also the lovely Karen. We must send her some healing too. But of course, my friends, there are so many people that need healing at this time. And don't think that it's not possible to send it to everyone. And all you do is just send out your thoughts. Ask. As we talked about God so much so far tonight, but really, really, ask and you shall receive is what always springs to mind. So you can ask for healing for yourself and each other, and even people you don't know, as you'll hear me say in the prayer. So let us join together for our stolen healing video. But also to send out our thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering, as we say as ever. Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. We ask this for both those we know and those we do not know, and in particular, dear Lord, for those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen. Thank you, friends, for joining in that most important part of our service. See, it's always an emotional roller coaster. We go very serious, we go very factual, then we go absolutely mental, and then we go back to sensibility and kindness, of course, again. So now, friends, is the moment that many of you have been waiting for, I'm sure. And of course, probably not Tony. He's probably the only one who hasn't, but he's always just fine, you know. And of course, this is his moment to impart upon us the truth of spirit, as we all join together and send out our thoughts to him, to help him with the work that he is about to do. And of course, I have some people who've been sitting very patiently in the wings. And of course, she was first on, so she's first in. Julie, are you there? Unmute, love.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, sweetie. How are you, my darling?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Good, good, good. Well, I shall say no more and get out of the way because I can see his eyes are linking. So see you soon.
Okay.
Bless you. Hello, Julie. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
Good, good. It's not my eyes that link, it's my hands. They always make my hands really itchy when they're connecting with me, and my hands are really, really itchy. So I know I've got somebody for you, sweet. And I know I've got a lady that wishes to connect with you from the world of spirit. And the lady she's connecting with me, she's coming through with a very maternal feel around her. And maternal for me means she's mum, grandma, great grandma, but or somebody who would have been like a mother to you while she was on earth. As I'm talking to you, I've got a very, very dry throat and I'm finding it really difficult to speak. So I feel this lady towards the end of her life would have had difficulty speaking, saying what she wanted to say. Would you understand a lady who would have had difficulty speaking at the end of her life? Bear with me a minute. Bear with me a minute. She's just stepped really, really close. She's given me a tightness around the chest, so I know there would have been breathing difficulties around this lady. You're looking like a no. I'm not frightened of no's. If it's a no, tell me and I'll find out where she's coming from.
I'm not sure.
That's fine. That's fine. I can cope with I'm not sure. Bless you. I work with a lot of the energy of the person that I'm connecting with, so I feel their personality and I feel their the essence of them, as I want to say. And I feel this lady is a very loving lady, a very warm lady, but I feel like this lady would have had an incredible strength around her. And I know she would have been a lady who would have been very unafraid of saying what needed to be said in a situation. And if it upset people, well, it still needed to be said.
Yeah.
And she was very to the point with it as well. And I don't normally wag my fist around like this, but she's making me want to be like very to the point. And she's also given me this feeling of a lady who had been very independent, very proud of her family and her things. But when I say things, she's not a material lady, but everything I had was mine, bought and paid for, is what she's telling me. So even if it wasn't worth a lot, it was mine, and I'm very proud of it and very house proud. And I feel she's making me feel like at the end of her life, she lost a little bit of her independence, and that irked her a little bit because she still liked to do things. Are you with me now? Do you know where I'm coming from? Bless you. Thank you. And sweetheart, as she's connecting with me, she's making me feel very much that you need a little bit of that directness of speech, if you would understand, because I feel there's something that needs clearing up or sorting out, and she's saying you need to be a little bit more direct with people and tell them how things should be, rather than, oh, I don't want to upset the apple cart and I'll leave it and it'll sort itself out. And she's saying, no, love, you need to be saying what needs to be said. She is drawing me to your chain. I wear a crossing chain around my neck, and she's pulling on that as well. So I know there would have been something around the neck from this lady, be it a crossing chain or a locket, but there's something around the neck. And also around my neck, I wear some rings that have come from different people in spirit, and she's jingling them under my shirt as well. So I know there would be rings left from people in spirit as well that are still around and in the family. And in particular, she's pulling on my engagement ring. So I don't know whether her engagement ring's here or it's been passed through the family, but she's pulling on my engagement ring as if she wants to take it off my finger and pass it on. Oh, I don't normally like doing this, but no. Would you understand where a ring's come off? Because she's pulling my engagement ring, she wants it off my finger. So I don't know whether it's been a difference of opinion and a ring's come off, or
No, I
whether
don't. No.
somebody, hang on. She's given me arthritis in the hands. She's given me something in the hands and a ring's had to come off. So I don't know if it's been cut off but it's been taken off because there's been a problem in the hands. If you can't place it, that's fine. You've understood other things. So I don't like leaving it though, but that's what she's doing. She's pulling my ring off. All right, darling. You must also be able to understand a gentleman connecting around this lady in spirit, because I feel a gentleman's energy around her, and he's stepping forward. And I feel this gentleman, as I'm saying gentleman, I mean a gentleman. So this is a real gentle, calm energy that's connecting with me. Valesi said, I was so laid back, I was nearly horizontal. So I know this gentleman was really easygoing, laid back, would have just coasted through life. If there was chaos going on, he would be the one that would bring it down and calm things down and say, let's all sit around the table and sort this out. And I just feel he's a bit, like Sweden, a bit in the middle and sorting things out and trying to be neutral about things. And he's coming through as well. He's talking about just being tired at the end of his life. It's as if he was just ready to go when it came to his time, if you would understand. And he is telling me a lady collected him. So I don't know if it was his mum or wife, but a lady collected him as he took his transition to spirit. He is thanking somebody for holding his hand and comforting him at the end of his life. But he is telling me that somebody couldn't get there. Somebody couldn't get there to see him before he took his transition, if you understand. Are you all right, sweetheart? Are you sure? Because he's just coming through and saying, I'm fine, it's all good. And the fact that somebody couldn't get there, that's fine as well. You wanted to be there, and that's all that matters. But he's saying, don't think I didn't say goodbye, because he went round everybody after he took his transition and said his goodbyes as he wanted to. All right, sweetheart. And I know he comes around you quite a lot, because he's telling me he's around you quite a lot. And I'm getting green energy, which is physical healing for me. So he wants to give you some physical upliftment and physical support, but also some emotional support. I call it my lavender energy, because that's how they bring it to me. So he wants to give you that emotional support. But would you understand, please? He wants you to pass some of that energy on. So there's another in the family that needs that support and that upliftment as well. Would you please pass that over? Because he feels, oh, and I don't like false teeth, but he's just giving me a set of false teeth. I really don't like them. They make me queasy. I don't know why. I just do. But there must be something about somebody's false teeth spent more time on the side than it did in the mouth. Because he's just,
Oh my God, yeah.
Please take them away. I really don't like them. But again, I've got this dryness around my mouth. Would you understand where somebody would have needed their mouth swabbing towards the end of their life? Because my mouth feels really dry and really sticky, and I feel like it's been cleaned. So I want to leave you. No, I can't leave you, because he's not letting me go. Thank you for keeping me tidy. The lady's saying thank you for keeping me tidy and presentable. So I don't know if somebody went in and brushed her hair and kept her looking smart and tidy. And the gentleman as well, he's saying thank you for looking after me and keeping me smart. That means a lot to him. But again, he just wants to thank somebody for holding his hand and telling him it's all going to be okay. All right. And as he's leaving me, sweetheart, I've got to leave you with chrysanthemums, and I've also got to leave you with go on, not peace lilies. Somebody must like the lilies and the peace lilies, because I've got to leave you with those, sweetheart. And God bless you, and thank you for letting me work with these wonderful people. They are lovely.
Thank you.
They are so lovely. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
darling. Thank you. Can't hear you, Nick.
Is that better?
That's better, darling. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank God for that. Well done, Tony, mate. And Julie,
you.
how are you?
I'm getting there.
Good.
Bless
I'm
you.
getting there.
Good. I do speak about you often at the co-op.
Sorry?
I do speak about you often at the co-op.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, we have the account. In fact, we were talking about you last night, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yes. So yes, there we are. We was talking about cars though. So bless you. Well, it's really, really good to see you. And do stay around for the closing prayer.
Yeah, I
But
will.
we will see you later.
Yeah.
Bless you. Thank you.
Oh, bless her heart. Well, I think it's now Natalie's turn, if Natalie is ready. Yes, because it's so funny, you know, and I say this every week, and you will have seen it yourself, Tony, with the services you do, where people rest their phone that they're using or their tablet on a table or something, and all you see is ceiling, and you think, have they gone to sleep? Are they going to get Lynn's full body healing threat fulfilled? But no, she is with us still. She was watching and listening intently, and I can imagine I know why. But for now, I'm going to invite Natalie onto the screen. Are you there, darling?
Hiya.
How are
Hi,
you?
Natalie.
I'm not too bad, thanks.
Bless you. Well, I'm going to get out of the way and leave you to it. See you soon.
Okay.
Hi, Natalie. Are you all right?
All right. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. Okay. Right. I have a gentleman that wants to come and connect with you from the world of spirit, and this male energy is connecting with me. I want to say this chap could be quite naughty and funny, and he's really trying to make me laugh. And I'm not telling you the type of things he's telling me, because it can be quite, yeah. Anyway, but this gentleman is a real character, if you would understand. He would have really liked to lift everybody up and lift the energy in a room, if you would understand. Didn't like miserable faces.
No.
He's coming through on a family connection. I can't get a sense of where he sits at the minute, but I do know he's around family, and he's just coming round and really trying to get me to laugh and to giggle and to get everything going. He's also telling me that he would have gone a bit before his time. He said, I've gone before my time. So I know he either died younger, or he had so much life about him, he could have lived to 220 and he still wouldn't have done everything he wanted to do. Because I feel, I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He grabbed life by the horns and wanted to live it to its full. He wanted to pack as much as he could into his life. Would you understand why he's given me this? And sweetheart, you must also be able to understand a recent passing, which for me is between now and 5 years, because he wants me to acknowledge the recent passing that's gone, because they're there, he's saying. And he's also telling me he's got the little ones that passed to spirit. So there would have been babies in the family that either died in the womb or died not long after they were born, because he's telling me he's got the children that went to spirit, sweetheart. Right, okay. He wants me to acknowledge around the 15th of a month. I can be a little bit off with my dates, but he's circling the 15th of a month on the calendar for me, for either births, anniversaries, or passings to spirit, because he's just brought that in. And all right, sweetheart. And he's saying that just at the minute, I know this year has not been normal at all, but he's taken me back further than this year, and he's saying life for you's been like ups and downs and ups and downs, and sometimes there's been more downs than ups, and you've thought, hang on, how far down can my life go? And you know, I've about had enough of this. And he's just saying, come on, you can ride it up. We're getting there. We're getting there. You know, the ups are up and the downs are down. And as I've said that, he's telling me that I'm not medical and I don't diagnose or anything like that, but he's telling me somebody around you or yourself, it might be, has been quite low at the minute. It's been like, what's the point of getting out of bed? You know, we've all felt like that last 4 weeks because we couldn't go anywhere. But he's telling me that there's somebody who just doesn't feel like they want to get up and get out on a morning. And he's saying, come on, we can do it. We can do it. You know, if you just look for that little bit of positivity in a day, like Nick said earlier, it's amazing how it can lift you a little bit. You must understand somebody who has problems with their chest down here, because I feel like I want to give healing to somebody across the chest. And you can hear he's taking my voice like I'm rattling and excuse me. Can you take that off now, please? Right. And he's saying, I'm not saying it's anything nasty or critical, but somebody needs to get it sorted if it doesn't start clearing up, because he's just saying, you know, it's been a while and it needs to get sorted. Okay. He stepped to one side and a lady's energy's come forward, and you must understand, you don't look old enough to understand this, but Pat Phoenix out of Coronation Street, she's come in and it's that type of energy I've got, you know, quite, I'm going to tell you how it is, and if you don't like it, I'm going to roll my sleeves up and I'm going to fettle you, you know, it's that type of energy she's come in with. And it's a real no nonsense. I'm not going to take any rubbish, and don't start giving it to me. And she's saying to you, sweetheart, that there's I can't say that word. There's rubbish going on around you and it needs sorting and it needs to stop. And what she's saying to me is, it's people that really should know better, that should be helping to take the load off, that are actually sometimes chucking the load on a bit. And she's not happy with that. And she's saying, no, they should help. They should take some of the burden, some of the load off your shoulders rather than adding it on. And would you understand, she's also saying they're old enough to know better and they're old enough to look after themselves. So
Yeah.
just I've had enough. And I don't advocate violence in any way, shape or form, but she would have been a lady who would have given them a bit of a Gabe slap if you watch NCIS. All right, bless you. But having said all of that about this lady, she's a lovely lady and she would have had you back. I've just seen a tattoo on your arm and she's just said there's a tattoo in memory. So somebody must have a tattoo that was done in memory of somebody, either the date of birth or the name or something's been tattooed, because she's just I've got a few myself, but she's just putting a tattoo on me. But she's also telling me that, all right, she's telling me that she loved the funeral because it turned into a real celebration of her and everything she was. And she's putting her thumbs up and saying it was just exactly what I would have wanted. Would you understand why she's saying mum in spirit? Either her mum or your mum, but she's saying mum or mother-in-law, because there's no difference in spirit for me. They come through as mum. Bless you, just a second. Would Would you be able to place for me, please, a lady who would have had either a stroke or a dementia type condition prior to her passing to spirit? I'm not saying that's what took her. She might have had it before and survived it, but it's somebody who would have had either a dementia condition or a stroke condition, something in the head that would have interfered with how I thought and how I spoke. No, she's not taking it off me. Would you understand a Doreen? No.
I don't, but my mum might.
Right. Well, if it's for mum, I do apologise if it's somebody mum knows, but please just bear it in. Oh, Nick's nodding. But anyway, there we are. Well, she just wanted to come and say hello, that's all. So I've passed it on now, so that's it. And I know I gave the previous lady a necklace, but you would understand as well, a necklace that's been left from spirit, either a locket or a cross or something like that, but you would understand that as well. And would you also understand the family of 4? That could be 2, mum and dad and 2 children, or 4 children, 4 grandchildren, 4 boys, 4 girls, but there's 4 somewhere connected.
Yeah, 4th generation.
Right, that's fine. That's fine. I've just got the 4, and
Yeah.
I'm just going down, so I know that it's the staggered. All right, bless you. This lady is so funny. She's really full of life and full of energy, even from where she is. But I also want to give you. All right. How am I going to put that over? Would you be able to place a little box that would have sat on somebody's side, either the dressing table or fireplace or something, but it's got lots of little knickknacks and things in it? It's like a little box that you'd have chucked everything in. And what she's telling me is, I don't know if it was hers, but she's saying when it was sorted out, some people were amazed at the stuff that was in there, and it raised a smile, and it raised the energy at a very sad time. And she's just bringing that in. And she's also talking to me about somebody would have had a handbag that when you sorted it out, again, it was really true. There was everything in there bar the kitchen sink. But she's talking about something that was found in there, and it looks to me like a little photograph. But there was a little photograph or something found that, again, raised a smile. And, oh, I remember that day when we went and did whatever. And she's just bringing this in. But the other thing she's bringing in with that is somebody's, and I feel she's talking about you, but you've been looking back a lot over the past few months, and maybe 18 months. You've been spending a lot of time looking back at memory lane, and what she's saying is that's all well and good, but you're heading that way, so keep an eye that way, but make sure you've learned the lessons from back there, because I'm paraphrasing what she's telling me. You've had a lot of stuff in your life, and a lot of people who've taken the, I'll say, mick out of you in the past, and just learn the lessons. And also she's telling me you need a pair of secateurs to start cutting some of the dead wood out and leaving it back there where it belongs. All right, sweetheart. And I know you gave you the 15th, but she's talking about, hang on, June as well. The month of June must mean something for birthdays, anniversaries, or passings, because she's just talked about June. And she's also talking about a birthday around now, because she's just given me a birthday cake, and I feel like it's around now. So what I would beginning end of November, beginning of December, there must be a birthday in the family, because she's just given me a birthday. What was that? What was that? She just flashed something in front of me then and took it away again. Would you understand a gentleman's watch left from spirit as well? Because I've she's just put a gentleman's watch on my wrist, and I've got a bangle on mine, but she's put it's a gentleman's watch, and she wants to acknowledge that as well, and she also wants me to say there's a lady in spirit that wants to thank you and the others for the things that went in with her. There must have been cards, photographs, letters or something put beside me in my coffin as I took my journey, and she wants to thank people for them and to say they were really appreciated, as were the kind words that were spoken for her as well. And I will leave her love with you and say God bless you, and thank you very much for working with me, darling. Thank you, Natalie.
You're right, Natalie.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I can confirm that your mum did know the lady that came through.
Yeah.
Shall we reveal the little trick that we've played on him?
Oh,
Yeah,
not
no
another
way.
I
one.
didn't realise that I did it to you last time, but say hello to Natalie's mum.
Oh,
I don't do this deliberately, Tony. I really promise I don't. But wonderful thing, if you look back, you actually said, oh, just to reference the lady before. And I'm like, yeah, well, you would, because that's her mother.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely brilliant. And there's no way that you would have known that I was going to do that, especially again.
I did think he wouldn't do that to me again. But he did.
The lady was Nana.
I thought it was Nana Kelly.
No,
Or
Nana
Nana
Linny.
Nana Ely, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it
bless
was.
you. Well, thank you for that. That's just evidence for me that it's coming from spirit, because it can't come from anywhere else.
Mm.
Evidence for everybody, mate. Evidence
Yeah.
for
And the birthday, Natalie, is Oscar's.
Yeah, no, Archie's.
Archie's.
End of November.
The 15th, the only thing I can think about the 15th is
It's
Tasha's
Tasha's
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we are. I love it.
Thank
Thank you. Thank
With
We
you.
me.
absolutely
Okay.
idolise Tasha.
Yeah.
Oh, bless. Thank you.
bless you.
Thank you very
It's
much.
lovely to
And
see.
thank you for the lovely comments as well going up. That's lovely.
Yes, it is. I will share some in the next spot.
Oh.
But for now, my lovely ladies, I will see you again soon.
God bless both of you.
Oh, bless them. And I do apologise. I didn't realise
That's
I'd
all
done
right.
that to you a second time. Well, now we come to our final reading of the evening. So that
What
means
time could it be?
about to happen. What
Mm.
time is it? Let me do this first for a change so I don't miss anything. Hannah, darling, what time is it?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm.
Goodbye.
Bully's special prize. Fantastic. How are you, my lovelies?
Good. Very good, thank you.
Fantastic. Good to see you both. And, you know, the love for Bully and Hannah and you, Sam, is always there in the comments each week and every week. Because for those that are new to us tonight, I see there's quite a few tonight, newbies, actually. When we were in this building, of which the picture you can see behind us, we used to have a raffle. And you might have guessed by now that occasionally I come out with some really random stuff. Go figure. And one of those particular random things is that when we used to do the raffle at the end of the service, I'd say, and Bully's special prize is, and then give out the final prize. And of course, I was away for a couple of weeks and somebody stole my job. And I never got it back. And that's well over a year ago, because Bully's about to have his first birthday, isn't he?
Wow.
Because we all as a church got together and got Bully for Hannah. And, you know, her mum, Sam, she often thinks that she's not very psychic and not very spiritually apt and very mediumistic. But then she gets the evidence in the fact that, well, hello, a week before we were due to give it, it had been delivered. Sam said, I've been having a look online to see if I can find a bully. And I can't find one. And I said, well, you know, you won't, because he's in my living room. And of course, as we raffle out the prizes, raffle out the prizes in the church, we now raffle out the mediumship. And so Bully's special prize is still a stalwart tradition of our church. And Hannah is the keeper of that tradition now. So on that, there he is. And of course, I'm sure we'll see Henry at the end, won't we, when you come up for the end, because he is about. Hello, Henry, wherever you are. Oh, I think he's gone. He can't be doing with my voice. Right, ladies, thank you very much. God bless you, and we'll see you at the end.
God bless.
And of course, now it is time for Bully's special prize. And let's see who Bully's special prize is. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Hello. Good, thank you. And you?
Marvelous. Lovely to see you. And I'm going to get right out of the way and let you both get on with it. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hi, Karen. Are you
Hi,
all right?
Tony. Yes, thank you. I haven't had my hair done yet.
Bless you. I managed to get in today.
I love it.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Right. Hang on. I can't cope with you all. There are quite a lot of energies wanting to come around you, Karen, but I'm asking them to sort it out and to bring just a couple forward, because there's at least 4 or 5 people that want to come through and speak to you. But the first person that's come through is a gentleman which would like to connect with you. And this gentleman, as he's connecting with me, I want to say I feel quite, what's the word? It's making me want to put my shoulders back and to sit up straight and to be quite correct. And I've got my shirt's just untucked and he's trying to make me tuck it in. So this gentleman I know would be very particular about his appearance, and he would have always been very smart if he was to go anywhere. But even around the house, I feel he would have been, what can I say, smart casual. Okay. Because I feel he would have always still been presentable. He wouldn't have been like me in my joggers and my t-shirt and a hoodie over the top. No. He would have been still in a shirt with a collar, even if it was a polo shirt, you know, but he would have still been tidy and presentable. He's talking to me about quite a quick pass into spirit, so his transition would have been quite quick at the end. Although I do feel with him, there would have been a little bit of illness beforehand. So I feel like I was ill, but my passing was quick. He's coming through on a family vibration, and he's making me feel quite paternal around you. So he would be like a father figure or grandfather or somebody who would have been connected in that sort of energy around you. Yeah. I do feel like he wants to nurture and to guide and to bring on. So I know he's a gentleman who was really interested in people and really wanting them to do the best and to achieve. Oh gosh. Would you understand, please, where there would be a heart condition connected in spirit as well? Because I've got a pin right in the middle of my chest. And the only thing I can think of is it's somebody who would have had a heart condition or something to do with the heart. Hang on. You're looking confused? That's okay. I can work with that. All right. Yeah. They're telling me this would get worse as I exercise. So for me, what I'm feeling, like I said before, is I'm not medical, but an angina type.
Angina, yes.
Type thing that gets worse as I exercise. All right. Because that's just coming through as well, sweetheart. I also want to say the gentleman's bringing you a lot of healing at the moment. Both types of healing that I get. So I get the green for a physical and the lavender for upliftment and emotional support. And I'm getting both of them for you.
But I've
Thank
also
you.
got to say to you, could you pass on some of the physical healing across as well to where you know
Yes.
it is needed, because there's
Yeah.
somebody connected with you that does need it at the moment as well. Would you also understand where there would be blood tests? Because I just feel like I've got, you know, when they put the tourniquet around your arm,
Yeah.
I can just feel that around my arm. So,
Okay.
oh, hang on. No, it's not. It's not. Blood pressure. Blood pressure. Would you understand where somebody's blood pressure is a bit up and down and they just need it checking? Because it's a
Perhaps
blood
they're
pressure
telling
cuff.
me to check.
I don't know, but don't panic.
Okay.
I
No.
don't do predicting, but I can just feel it around my arm, and I thought it was a tourniquet, and it's not. It's a
Okay.
blood pressure machine.
Yeah.
Because I'm pumping the thing up. So just something needs checking, and just to keep
Okay.
an eye on it,
Yeah.
please. Because he's just saying it is time for an MOT. So would you
Okay.
understand where it's time for just a quick physical check, just to make sure everything's okay and tickety-boo, and that's what he wants. And as I say that, would you understand as well, please, where somebody's having issues with a car? Because as I said,
Yes.
MOT, he chucked some car keys in my hand as well. So
Yes.
I've got to talk about the problems with the car, and also somebody who, right, okay. I'll just tell you as I'm getting it. It's
Okay.
as if he wants to pick you up
Yep.
and move you somewhere. So I don't know. I don't feel this is a house move. I just feel this is thinking about a big change and where do I go in the future. It's that type
Okay.
of thinking I'm feeling. So it's like, I think I got something similar to this a few weeks ago when I did a
Yeah.
reading for you. And it's like, I know I'm happy where I am now, but I feel like I'm starting to tread water a little bit and get a bit stationary and stagnant. And I'm looking for new challenges. And I know what he's talking about. Yes, he's talking about the because he's telling me he will be here to guide and support. So he's talking to you about working with the spirit world
Spirits.
and
Yeah.
engaging with them. And it's a time to start looking forward and planning on where you're going to be in the future. Although, as I've always said, I wanted to set off being a healer. That was my plan. That was where I was going. Wasn't interested in platform work at all. So don't be surprised if what you think you're going to be doing isn't quite what they've got in mind for you on the other
Okay.
side, because
Yeah.
they know where your gifts are best utilized. All right. You must sense a lady around you as well who's connected on a family vibration, because she's just connected and she's saying to me, you know I'm around, and you know I talk to you. But all right. Oh, she's saying, what are you saying to me? You would understand the lady spirit side of life who, like I said to the previous lady, she's very forward and wouldn't be frightened to speak out and to make her opinions heard. But what I've got to say is this lady was well worth listening to,
Yes.
because she had a wise head on her, because she's just shown me an owl, and when I see an owl, it's a wise owl, and that's what she's bringing through, that she was very wise and she was worth listening to. She's saying to me, sweetheart, that you've imparted wisdom to others around the family when they've come and asked you for help with things and given advice. And in particular, she's telling me about two people where it's like, oh yeah, Karen said that, but I'm going to do this. And it's gone, I can't say that. It's gone pear-shaped, I'll say. She was a bit more colourful with it. Things have gone pear-shaped, and they've come back and said, oh God, you'll never guess what's happened. And you've thought, wow, quelle surprise, you know. But what she's saying is, sweetheart, there are times when it's best to just take a step back.
Yeah.
And just be there to pick up the pieces and to mop the knees when they've come all scuffed and damaged. So just be prepared to step back and to let things unfold as they need to, because she's saying sometimes people need to learn the hard lessons.
Yes.
When you've tried to guide them round the rocks, she's saying sometimes you just got to let them flounder because they need to. But she's very, very proud when she looks back at your life at how you've learned those lessons and gone forward with that knowledge and the lessons and she's correcting me, saying, and the tools and the armor that you've gained through the bumps and scrapes and knocks. And she wants me to be very careful how I say that. I've got to use her words. It sounds like burgers, but it's not, have let you down. When they've let you down, you've learned that lesson, you've picked yourself up, you've dusted yourself off, and you've thought, right, I'll just carry on as I am. Please carry on with your spiritual work.
Definitely.
It's going to be an interesting journey. I can tell you that from my own personal experience. And these are her words, and she's saying, listen to Tony, because a few days ago I did a chat with, and I said, I just went to Spirit and said, take me where you want me to be. And if you give yourself over to God and to Spirit, they will never, ever, ever let you down. Never. I will always trust what I get from Spirit. Sometimes it's me that gets things wrong because they give me things in my frame of reference. And if I've put my interpretation on it, I've got it wrong. It's not wrong from Spirit. It's wrong from me. I've overthought it. The first thing in your head is from Spirit. The second thing is you analysing it. Always give what you've got, sweetheart. You've got a lot to give people. You really have got a lot to give people. And I know we did, sorry, Nick, I'm getting into a bit of a sermon here. I know we did the healing segment, but everything you do when you work for God and you work for Spirit is healing. Even giving messages off is healing people in some way because you're giving them comfort. And you've got a lot to give, sweetheart. And I look forward to watching your journey. It's going to be really interesting.
Thank you,
God
Tony.
bless you, and thank you so much for working with me.
Thank you.
I love it. I love this job. It's not a job, it's privilege.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that was okay for you.
It was perfect, thank you. And I'm so
Thank you.
grateful for Spirit having come into my life. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's amazing. It's an amazing journey.
It is. And thank you to Nick for throwing me in at the deep end.
Well, always. Well, always. You know, I always have a backup plan. Unfortunately, one of our raffled recipients couldn't make it tonight. So you truly were Bully's special prize. You know, my lucky charm for those in need. The lovely Hannah and Bully, they really do know where to put the magic. And you know, you were on the first of the list for next week, and I always default to the first of the list for next week if someone drops out, just in case. And you know, I think the way Spirit works is we don't always know what's going on, but they certainly do.
Yeah,
of course.
And I think it was well needed tonight, especially if you don't mind me saying, one of the names that I mentioned in the healing was yours.
Yes.
So bless you for coming on. Thank you for stepping in, and stay around for the prayer.
I will. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Take care, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Bless her. And now we are about to go back for the usual closing thoughts from our Reverend Lynn.
I'm going. See you later.
Yeah. Get your booty back on that chair, young man. Before I do, though, because I know that this is probably going to. I've just seen a message, Karen Forder. Yeah. It says, how do you get a reading, please? Well, you actually put your name down on the list that Mum put out last week, and you are already on the list to be raffled, darling. So don't you worry about it. Your name's on the list and you are coming in. Magic. I love it. I will quote Reverend Lynn when we were in development. One of her phrases was, "How do they do that?" And I just love it. Another thing that I would like to just briefly share, because a lot of people ask about the NCSS logo, which you can see down in the bottom screen right there. The NCSS. See that one up there above Tony's head. That's the individual church logo. Don't be sorry, Maureen. It's fine. It's always good to check. But the NCSS logo, which is right here, emblazoned with live, has some text on the book. And I quite often get asked about it. It's actually readable if you zoom into the high enough resolution image. And I know Lynn likes this bit because we often use this. When you get asked the question, how can you be Christian and spiritualist? And you reminded me of it because you said, I don't do prophecy and fortune telling. You see, the thing that people don't realize is the word prophecy literally means speaking on behalf of God. It doesn't mean that the meaning that people think that we use it for now. It always literally meant speaking on behalf of God, which is exactly what you do. You don't do fortune telling, but you do speaking on behalf of God, and beautifully, I might say as well.
Thank you.
That text on the book is actually 1 Corinthians 12, starting at verse 4. And it says, and I quote, now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of ministries, and the same Lord. There are varieties of effects, but the same God who works all things in all persons. But to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. For to one is given the word of wisdom through the Spirit, and to another the word of knowledge according to the same Spirit, and to another faith by the same Spirit, and to another gifts of healing by the one Spirit, and to another the effecting of miracles, and to another prophecy, and to another the distinguishing of spirits, to another various kinds of tongues, and to another the interpretation of tongues. But one and the same Spirit works in all these things, distributing it to each one individually, just as he wills. And that, my dear friends, is why you can be a Christian and a spiritualist and minister on behalf of God, speaking in those tongues and distinguishing those spirits. So let's see what the boss has to say about it.
Well, well done, Tony.
Thank you.
That was an excellent demonstration of mediumship.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure the recipients were delighted, and so was everybody else who was listening in and taking part themselves in that. Because, as you know, we are all one. And I know it sounds silly now. No, it's not silly, sorry. But I was about to read that, which is what you read.
Hang on,
what shall I read? Yeah. Now, what shall I read them? Because you know I like to do a little reading. And I thought I'll just do a couple of verses of that. Won't go too much into it. And I couldn't believe it when you carried on. So I'll finish off, because there's a lovely last bit to that I really like, which will round off. It will finish what I was talking about earlier. And I was talking about the fact that we are all inclusive. And that is really serious. I mean, I was watching that, poor footballer who was racially abused, and thinking how dreadful it was that people can be like that. And this really sums it up. And that last verse, she says, desperately looking for the magnifying glass. I do have reading glasses, but they're not much good. Listen to this then. This is the very end of that. That's the verse that follows on. For by means of one Holy Spirit, we were all, whether Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, baptized and by baptism united together into one body, and all made to drink of one Holy Spirit. For the body does not consist of one limb or organ, but of many. So the thing is that we are all one. And I think that, that is the best news. That, you see, when Paul said that was, a couple of thousand years ago. We can say now, as an if you like, as an ongoing revelation, that we are all one spirit, born of the great Spirit, and therefore, we should not discriminate against any other spirit. That it would be a nonsense, wouldn't it? So thank you very much, Tony, for that lovely demonstration of mediumship, because that's the actual bedrock on which spiritualism sits. There would be no philosophy if there was no mediumship. Not philosophy that we give. You would only get the same stuff that all the other religions trot out, that don't have that absolute bedrock of solid knowledge that we are all one. And when Paul was telling people that we are all the one spirit, it perhaps wasn't quite as forceful, because for the last 2,000 years people have been abusing each other instead of understanding that. And we can actually show people through mediumship, like your own, Tony, that we are indeed all one spirit, and we are spirit people. Notice that people don't start talking about their skin colour or anything else that's basically irrelevant when they come through to us as spirit individuals. They come through as their character, as their individual personalities. I have never met anybody in spirit yet who refers to the complexion that they had while they were down here, or for purposes of identification, they'll often show you sort of roughly how they looked, but nobody actually from spirit actually talks about that at all, about themselves. So there we are. So thank you so much for proving that we are all one spirit, and to Reverend Nick for his reading, which saved me reading, but I wasn't going to not read. And then I realised that he'd actually left he left that sort of nitty gritty bit off the end of it. So I thought, well, for whatever reason, I'm supposed to read that bit then. And
and there is a reason.
There is a reason.
Well, I'm sure, Reverend Nick, that you're going to enlighten us any minute now, because I'm going to be muted. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Yes.
I mean, I can psychically pick that up. My guide has told me. Actually, she has.
She has. And she was probably responsible. Let me hit that button. Right, friends. A lot of people have been referencing the kind of week that Reverend Nick has had lately. And Lynn also said right at the very beginning, to those that were seeking a message for themselves without getting a message, I just got one, and Lynn doesn't even know it. Yes, we work together, and so we are very much in tune. The group that we work with individually is a group all of its own connection up in the world of spirit. So this is one of the reasons why Lynn and myself, and the fact that spirit are in charge, basically, got the same reading and was inspired to the same reading. But Lynn said at the beginning, you can get a message without getting a message. One of the reasons that Nick's had a bit of a rough week is because Nick had to conduct a service for a very good friend of his on Tuesday, and that was his cremation service, because he passed away. And it was a very unique and new circumstance for me, because it was a non-religious service, and it was a joke that Andy and myself had had. And I did a reading from our favourite science fiction show that we had in common together. And I've literally just opened up that service on Word, and I'd like to do one last reading, if you all don't mind, because this truly just demonstrates exactly what Lynn said. It demonstrates proof behind all of Tony's mediumship and the themes, and it ties everything together and puts a pretty pink bow on the top, if you'll pardon the amusing pun. And I'm now going to read you the reading that I did on Tuesday for Andy, because you will not believe this. The universe speaks in many languages, but only one voice. That language is not English or French or Hindi or Hebrew or Arabic or any other written or spoken dialect. It speaks in the language of hope. It speaks in the language of trust. It speaks in the language of strength and language of compassion, and in the language of the heart and the language of the soul. But always it is the same voice. It is the voice of our ancestors speaking through us, and the voice of our inheritors waiting to be born. It is the small, still voice that says, "We are one." No matter the blood, no matter the skin, no matter the continent, we are one. No matter the pain, no matter the darkness, no matter the loss, no matter the fear, we are one. Gathered here together in mutual cause and in mutual respect, we agree to recognize the singular truth and this singular rule that we must be kind to one another, because each voice enriches us and ennobles us, and each voice lost diminishes us. We are the voice of the universe, the essence of existence, and the fire that will light the way to a better future, because we are one.
One.
God bless you, Nick.
They've really done it to me tonight, bless them.
They've really done it to me tonight, bless them.
And you can probably tell by the echo that you're unmuted, Reverend Lynn.
You're unmuted, Reverend Lynn.
Oh, well done. That was a lovely, lovely reading.
And it just ties everything together with a pretty bow.
Everything together with a pretty bow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yes, we're all in favour of pretty bows.
We are. And if anyone's interested, that was actually from Babylon 5. So there we go. So I don't think there's anything other to say than thank you, Tony, for a wonderful demonstration of mediumship. Thank you to all of our recipients for coming on and braving it. Thank you to Alan for the reading. Thank you to Sam and Hannah and Bully. And thank you, of course, to Reverend Lynn, who always comes in and gives us her wisdom and our guidance. So let's have everyone back up who's still available and online. And let us join together. Let me just mute the whistles. There we go. Let's all join together and say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship. We thank you for the emotional connection and love that we share together in this sacred place, for it is a sacred place that we all sit. We sit on this earth, good and green and filled with hope and potential and love and joy. And no matter that which is thrown at us, we know that together we can light a way to a better future. And so I would like to ask, Great Spirit, that a blessing be placed on each person here present and at home and watching now and in the future, that your love and your light might shine across the world in a beautiful web of compassion and strength. And as I have said before, dear Lord, and I will say again today, we do not ask you to move the mountain. We simply ask you give us the strength to climb. And so until we meet again, let everything we do be in love, in truth, and in light. Amen. Well, friends, thank you all for being a part of this service. Tony, once again, thank you for a wonderful demo. Sam, Hannah, Bully, Alan, Lynn, Thank you for staying on, Karen, and of course Julie and Natalie, who had to dash off, and to all of you watching at home who make this worthwhile and make it something truly special, because we are your extended family. And to all you new people, you're stuck with us now, so live with it. Until next time, until next week, next Thursday, 7:40, live on Facebook. God bless you all. May the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. But until next time, good night and God bless.